special day is coming up for a special guy. Some call him Father. Around these parts, it's usually Daddy. And when he's around, there's a feeling of safety and security. This Father's Day, that boot store has the perfect Western outfit for that special guy. A gift card works great too. That boot store next to Billboard Kia on 15th Street. Open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Thursday. 9 a.m. to 5:30 on Friday and Saturday. Remember Joe's motto, keep your Heavenly Father first in your life every day.
Did you know that fees associated with real estate closings are virtually the same from one title company to the next? So what sets South Oak Title apart? Effective communication, customer service, expertise, and technology. If you're buying or selling real estate, refinancing a residential or commercial property, tell your realtor you want to close with South Oak Title. South Oak Title, with locations across the Southeast, including Panama City Beach, Inlet Beach, Destin, and Fort Walton Beach. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
An important message from Medicare. Between your doctor visits, taking the right medications at the right times, and following advice from different doctors, managing 2 or more chronic conditions, like high blood pressure, arthritis, or diabetes, can be overwhelming. But it doesn't have to be. Chronic Care Management Services can help you get the connected care you need by connecting the dots between your medical appointments, pharmacy, and hospital visits. Your doctor will work with you to create a care plan and check in with you between visits, keeping you on track and helping you with your health goals so you can spend more time doing what you love. If you have Medicare, ask your doctor about Chronic Care Management Services and get the connected care you need. For more information, visit Medicare.gov and search for Chronic Care Management. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Don't ignore facial redness or what you might think is a sunburn that just won't go away. It could be an early warning sign of a common facial disorder called rosacea. 16 million Americans have rosacea, and its top trigger is the sun. Learn the warning signs: facial redness, bumps and pimples, visible blood vessels, even irritated eyes. If you experience any one of these signs, see a dermatologist for diagnosis and treatment, or visit the National Rosacea Society at rosacea.org.
The SEC lives here. WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DM Mariana. All of us. ESPN Northwest Florida. Rise and shine, campers. It's a brand new day.
What a lovely morning.
Good morning, starshine.
You seem happy this morning.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming in early.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local. Live from the J. Michaels Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Get past the people, get past the hit me. And hit me. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. It is Thursday. Absolutely beautiful outside. Today's a special day. We had Jeremy Pridgeon on every Thursday and Tommy Santamont. Thank you guys so much for last week. Y'all did such a wonderful job. I love my Thursdays because I get to spend some time with these guys. But Jeremy, you doing well?
Doing well, Coach. Glad to have you back. And I had a good time in here last week. We saw the ratings; they were through the roof. So.
I absolutely. I heard about it. I want an NIL deal. I want more money. Randy goes, forget you. You can stay up in Birmingham. I've got 2 replacements already. And the other legend is in here right now, Tommy Santamont, Hall of Fame. Unbelievable. Can't say enough good things about him. You know, Jeremy, Tommy are talking off there, and Louise has been calling me. Tommy's got to go see Dr. Mitchell today. He's got another issue. Let me say this word again. Another issue. If you don't know Tommy, he's getting up there in age. And Louise called, and I listened to Tommy snoring, and she goes, "He's never made these sounds before." I said, "Well, Louise, it sounds like he's just kind of snoring." No, I'm telling you, I've not heard. Anyway, she asked my advice. Would I go with her? She feels like it's time we ought to put him down. And I said, well, I don't know if Chad's still doing that or not, but we could probably do that. I'll go with you. I'll go with you.
He's not.
But anyway, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good for a Thursday morning. Last Thursday went by real fast. It seemed like we was here, and all of a sudden it was over with.
Y'all had a great show.
Thank goodness it was over with.
Y'all had a great
Thanks a
show.
lot, guys. God.
Yeah, you know, we always open the show with the great James Brown, Hit Me, and we got hit this morning. I would like to thank Putin. Yeah, Putin, my butt. I'm telling you what, I'm getting to the point. I'm getting ready to explode. half a tank of gas. Jeremy, I wouldn't fill up my I got a Toyota 4Runner. It's not a huge SUV. It's not like Tommy's, but it's a nice size one.
Not a big dually like
no,
Tommy's.
It's not that $100,000 truck that he has, but it's a nice vehicle. $49.90 for a half a tank of gas.
It's not bad.
Just weren't going
$49.
See, now I'm at a different pay scale grade than you are. I mean, it just burns me up.
Just couldn't bring yourself to go to 50?
Well, no, no way. No way.
Let me tell you something. Since you got that truck filled up now, that is a good thing because a hurricane's coming. Is on the way.
I've been keeping an eye on that.
Florida.
Believe me.
You know that.
Yes, down in Cape Coral, my old home stomping grounds.
Might skip up to here though. It might skip around.
And I'm, you're kidding, but we've made this clear yesterday. Randy knows it too. If there's one near here, if it looks like it might turn this way, I'm gone. Somebody else can do the show. I mean, I don't care if you could fire me. I don't need this anyway. I will not be here for a storm.
He starts packing the car whenever we get double red flags.
I'm not going to get stuck. Jeremy, in Montgomery, one hurricane hit here, and this was a long time ago. I don't think you were in Montgomery. Heck, you might have been in college when this one happened. But my brother had a big land and a farm not a farm, but a big house on some land outside Montgomery on 331, 231. One of those 31s.
There's two they talk about up there. One is Opal.
Where everybody got stuck. That's the one.
Uh-huh. And
He
the
said,
other's Ivan.
He said, I look out there, and as far as you can see, those poor people are stuck. And his house was far off the road. It's not like, a normal thing. And I said, well, did you ever think about going to tell him come stay with you? He goes, no, I didn't think about that. But he said, I felt terrible because it was really bad up in Montgomery. And all those people from Florida, from around here,
trying to get out,
they're stuck.
Yep.
So I'll be gone way before all that stuff happens. No doubt about that. Anyway, so I'm mad about, everything could be solved. Everything could, when gas goes up, everything goes up. All we got to do, all that idiot has to do is open up the pipeline.
Who are you talking about? What idiot are you talking about?
Well, all of them.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All the idiots in D.C.
Well, there's a bunch of them up there.
Yeah.
Idiots as in plural.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of idiots, did you see the latest? Do you see the latest? Now, this is, I've had people that hunt, people that fish talk to me all the time. And they're like, did you hear why aren't you saying something about this? Well, now the Brandon wants us to use 22 pistols.
Oh, that's
you
good.
can go hunt. You can go hunt with 22. He don't want any 9mm, no high-powered rifles. That's gone. Go hunt deer. Go hunt bear. Go hunt wolves. Go hunt whatever Tommy's killing this week with a 22 pistol.
With squirrel gun.
Yeah,
I can do that.
Could you imagine
squirrel gun? Go kill a bear.
Could you imagine being out in Montana going from bear or Alaska hunting with a 22 pistol? I know a lot of people don't go bear hunting. I know you, but you do. I know you have.
I go all kind of hunting.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that. All right, let's take you out of it.
Okay.
But even hunting with a 22 with a deer, are you kidding me? Is he that stupid?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Anyway, so if you people do not stand up for with the freedoms you have, don't let them. They've already taken away so many now. It's unbelievable. Anyway, I'll shut up about all that. But $49.90 for a half a tank of gas. That's.
You know what really set him off is the fact that they've stopped all the Elvis impersonators in Las Vegas.
Oh my! Tell them about that. I about had a heart attack over that.
They just announced that. I was watching. I don't know what I was watching yesterday, but they've like, you know how Elvis does all the weddings and he does impersonations, and you can drop him a $5 or $10 bill and take your picture with him.
Yeah,
you know, standing in
it's a
front
big
of the
deal, big
Palazzo
time money.
Hotel or whatever. But now there are no more Elvis impersonators
in Vegas.
And I mean that's what made.
Did you see the amount of money they've made off Elvis out there doing that through the years? It's unbelievable the amount of money. So those people,
it was Elvis.
Yeah,
He's still alive.
They go now.
You mean that wasn't Elvis? I want my money back.
They're going to lose their job, their livelihood, and everything else, and they're freaking out there about it. But you know, him and his daughter, his wife, they sold. Well, actually, it was his daughter. They sold out his rights, Presley, whatever it's called. So some other people own it, but it's his name rights. And she took all this huge amount of money for it, and she really screwed up because he's still making big time money. And now, You can't do it out in Vegas. So I don't know what I'm going to do.
That'll go to the Supreme Court probably.
No.
They'll file a lawsuit. We'll let the Supreme Court rule
Let's
on
spend $2 million on taking this to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
All right. Speaking of Elvis, okay, we saw Elvis. Jeremy, I'm telling you, I'll pull up my phone later and show you. We're driving. We went to sit on the beach. We took our chairs. Went out there about 6:30 till the sun went down. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Driving across the bridge, he goes, look. I look over to my left, these huge clouds, and I'm telling you, it looked like Vegas Elvis. I mean, it looked, the outline looked just like Elvis was singing. I think he was speaking to me.
You didn't take your phone and get a little...
She did. We did. Matter of fact, we shared it on Facebook. Tommy took a picture of it earlier, the cloud, and it looked like a Mickey Mouse or something.
Yeah, it looked like a rat's head or something.
I thought like an elephant
I
to me.
saw it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, but
you see the sun rays coming out
yeah,
behind the clouds.
When the rays were really brightest, it was Elvis. Yeah. It was Elvis. I think he was singing to Jeremy too. By the way, the little cloud Jeremy, I thought was you.
What does that mean?
I don't know. The movie's coming out next month.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It must be a sign.
All right, I got to get this one more story in. Okay. Glenn Manley went out there a couple years ago to Wyoming. I don't know if you guys have heard about this yet. You're supposed to stay 25 yards away from a buffalo. If you've ever seen one in person, they're absolutely huge. I mean, huge.
I have.
All right, this 25-year-old woman, she's going to be cute. Get up. That's it. Yeah, that's Elvis. That's the one. Yeah, let me see. Show Jeremy. Is that not Elvis?
Yeah.
I see it now. I saw a chicken to start with picking.
Hey, do you
the other way, listen, it looks like a chicken picking.
I have.
For all you doctors in psychology, that number is area code 5.
Anyway, she's going to get a picture. She gets up 3 feet from this unbelievable size buffalo.
Oh, my God.
What does the buffalo do? He looks at her. He gored her, okay? They said, the people that saw it, 10 feet, they threw her 10 feet in the air, okay? The paramedics come. They get her to a hospital. She dies. She dies. And there's where they tell you there's signs out, there's all kinds of stuff. Stay, 25 yards? Stay at least 25 yards from them. She didn't pay attention. She thought some big, because they act like they're kind of, you wouldn't really think they'd be aggressive.
Well, they don't bother you unless you get too close to them, yeah.
And so she lost her life.
And I bet you they killed that poor thing, didn't they?
No.
I'm glad of that, because usually...
Well, you just use a 22 pistol.
Yeah, I shot one. I don't know how many times.
Yeah. You're not supposed to take the gun. I told him, I said, Tommy, we'll get put in jail that you got that rifle. He goes, no, we're all right. We're okay.
We were in South Dakota.
Bear came up, you glad I had it.
Yeah.
We were in South Dakota years ago at Custer State Park when we got to watch them run across. And, I mean, the ground's just pure vibrating when they run that almost a stampede. And you don't want to be anywhere near that, I promise you.
I was at Lavoie. We had our motorcycles there, and we stopped there, like you say, and those buffalo came out. One of them came right to my motorcycle. I thought he was going to knock it over. And they came across a whole herd of them, like you said. They were everywhere.
It's a beautiful thing to behold, but it's also terrifying.
Well, just think about the Indians. They used to hunt them. I mean, they were on their horses, or they were on their grounds.
They got right in the middle of them with a stick and a shoestring.
Yeah.
Boing, boing.
I mean,
they put 20 arrows into things to slow them down.
That's good to eat, I'll tell you that.
I mean, what our country's been through over the years, what people have to endure, and now we were freaking out about a different, I don't want to say virus, but what I was talking about. We in the old days, man, you got sick, you keep on going. You want to live, you got to keep on working. You didn't sit at home and. Anyway, I'll shut up. I'm in strain. All right, that was my buffalo story. I got my hunting dig in and the gas dig in. So I guess I'm pretty good the rest of the day.
And you're Elvis.
And I saw Elvis. And what we've got coming up, I hope at 7:15, we got Coach Hudson. We hope we get him. Jeremy, did you hear about the great news?
Heard Coach Hudson heading to Bay.
I love it, man. I tell you what, Billy May has done it. We got to brag on Billy May. He's made some of the best hires for his coaching. He went outside the box to get a basketball coach over there, and all that guy's done is taken over Bay County basketball. That was incredible. Then he hires Brown from Mosley to come over and coach his football team. Now he's got a big-time football coach over there that I think will do really well. And now you get one of the top, maybe the top coach in the entire state in the Southeast in baseball. So you got to watch out for the Bay High School in the future. They've got the coaches in place that know how to win. So
the transport portal is going to be going wild this summer.
Well, I don't know. Are they going to start the NIL deals up in high school now?
I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Anyway, all right, let's talk about some of our great people. I do appreciate you guys filling in last week. I did a great job. Also, yesterday was Jay Michael's world-famous spaghetti at lunchtime. It was packed out. Last night, we're going to go by there, heading to the beach. I might pull in Jay Michael's for a minute. Tommy, they were outside, surrounded the building, waiting to get in. Of course, a lot of them are here from out of state, and they want to get the seafood. But world-famous spaghetti every Wednesday. You'll love it. Best seafood, coldest beer, Jay Michael's Restaurant on Thomas Drive. I got a call last night, Dr. Chad Mitchell. Guess what he said? He said, I got to get a two-ton unit put in. We got 2 of them. One went out. I got to get another one. I've been dealing with this guy for a while. I want to use Stevenson air conditioning. I text up Jason, said, you might be getting a call. Sure enough, they want to use Stevenson air conditioning. You know why? Chad heard about us talking about a great experience we've had with him. It's like this morning for you guys got here. It was hot and humid in here. I crank now to see how it feels right now.
Yeah, it's cold.
Yeah, Stevenson air conditioning, number one. You can't say enough good things about them. Stevenson air conditioning, number one. Buffalo Rock. Tommy, talk about Buffalo Rock.
Buffalo Rock, a great company that's really supported athletics here in Bay County for many, many, many years. They know the value of supporting athletics and what it does to our community. So we really appreciate what they've done for us.
Now, if you're going to Gulf Coast Jam this weekend,
no.
This weekend?
Oh, yeah, this weekend.
Yeah.
This weekend. I thought you were talking about Jam.
Yeah, right.
He put on Biscuit and
No. The music. The music jam. Gulf Coast Musical Jam, starring Jeremy Pridgeon. His choir is going to be out there.
I got a front row seat.
Buffalo Rock's going to be out there.
Yeah, they sponsor that.
You can get your Pepsis and Dr. Peppers out there.
I'm just glad we got Florida-Georgia line opening for us.
And the only other thing I can talk about this morning, when you go to closing, demand, I want Chuck Tucker. You know, you want his father to be the principal at Mosley. You got that accomplished. The guy does a great job. Chuck Tucker is the man. South Oak Title and Closing on Back Beach Road and right over here on 77, right? 77? I think real estate right beside those guys.
Yeah, 77.
All right, we'll be right back. Hopefully Coach Hudson will be with us. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
A little less conversation, a little more action.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Giannis is the best player in the world. That doesn't change with the fact that he had a bad day and lost. I think he wore down from carrying that team practically by himself against that extraordinary defense and all those bodies the Celtics throw at him. But to me, the Middleton factor is undersold, and Giannis is clearly the best player in the world.
Greeny, weekdays 2 to 4, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Thursday morning. I'm forecasting a slight chance of a shower thunderstorm, and the temperature today with partly to mostly sunny skies in the mid to upper 80s, light southwest winds. The water temperature is up to 83 in the Gulf. Showers and thunderstorms are possible tonight, partly to mostly clear, the low 70s. More showers tomorrow. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. For 104.3 and 102.1 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
At Slim Chickens, craft means something. Craft means bacon. And oh, so crispy. Craft means a good cayenne kick and all-natural buttermilk marinated, made fresh, perfectly fried chicken. All served on toasted brioche buns. At Slim Chickens, craft means quality. And for a limited time, try our new Memphis-style barbecue chicken sandwich. Try Slim's Craft Sandwiches today. Slim Chickens.
Swampy Jack here. I've traveled the world for decades and brought my most exciting adventures to Panama City Beach. Encounter the 25-foot-tall Swamp Ape. This indoor scrambler ride is synchronized for a multimedia experience like you've never felt. Put the pedal to the metal, racing around the Marrakesh track in electric go-karts. Supercharge your kart with special power-ups for extra speed or to sabotage opponents. And if you're hungry, grab a meal at Swampy's Cantina or enjoy an ice-cold beer. This and more at Swampy Jack's.
Reach out, call up and just say hi.
Give him a call.
Phone lines are open. 850-215-6290. The Coach James Hale Show is taking your calls live and local from the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Do it, Elvis. Yes, sir. The King. Welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We got a new coach at Bay High School. I think we all know. Pretty famous guy. And we've got him on the phone with us this morning. Coach Hudson, how you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How y'all doing today?
We are doing outstanding. We're so happy for you. We are so grateful that you're not leaving the area and that we can continue to, follow your career. And you got a tough, and I'll tell you what now, you're taking over a tough one. It's going to take some time to build this thing up. But we're so proud that you're the new head coach there. We bragged on Billy May. I think he's doing Tommy, you can jump in if you want to. I think Billy May's done an unbelievable job for his athletics and running Bay High School academically, discipline, everything. I think he does a wonderful job. He's brought in 3 great coaches in the last year, and 2 from the same high school, 2 from Mosley, which is unbelievable. But talk about everything and how this went about. Did you apply? Did they call you? If you can, I understand. But give us a little background, what you can tell us how this happened.
Yeah, really, after everything happened before, at Mosley, I really was just kind of looking around to see what else, might be available for me. I really didn't see that it was even advertised, the job at Bay High School. Someone had contacted me from Bay early on and said, if you want this, if you want to be interested in the job, I've got some information about everything and, what's going on with the program. But I really never saw that it was posted myself, but apparently it was. So I called last Tuesday and inquired about the position. And then the athletic director gave me a call back and said, yeah, we'd love to have an interview Friday. So it had actually been open. So I interviewed Friday for the position, and then Saturday they offered me the position. So that's kind of how it went. Once I contacted them, they had the position. The position was had been open. It was advertised. I didn't see it, but anyway, that was it. It went fairly quick from there on. So.
John,
here we go. I'm ready.
This is Tommy, John. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing great, Tommy.
Good. Congratulations on your job. John, was you really interested in staying in Bay County, or what was your thoughts on that? Did you want to stay here and coach here somewhere in Bay County?
I did. I did. I've got a new family here, moved in with me, with my girlfriend coming in. We're all just getting together as a family. She's got 3 kids, and I'm excited about them. We just moved in, and my girlfriend's got a new job here in town at the hospital over there that she loves. Just got that, and I really wanted to stay here, and just for them. When Bay High opened up, it's like, okay, that's a great opportunity for the timing on it was just perfect, and I've been around a long time. I know what Bay High School is. I know what the baseball program, the tradition that's there. And, I just can't wait to get over there and get to work. And I know we're a little bit ground floor over there. They had 8 seniors off the team last year. So, they have, I think, 2 seniors coming back. And, it's going to be a young group. They're very young coming in there. So, but, like I said, I think the timing was perfect. And, Mr. May's just outstanding. So, everything has been great so far over there, but I need to get moving here and try to get things moving forward for the summer.
John, you won the trifecta: Rutherford, Mosley, now Bay.
That's got to be history, Tommy. Whatever coach has that ever happened before in Bay County?
Yeah, one, John Hudson.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, but John, we're really glad you're staying in Bay County. I hate to see you have to leave, but I'm glad everything worked out for you, and you'll do a good job there. I know you will.
Well, I know that I'm gonna work at it. We're gonna get to work over there, and we hope it's a quick thing, and we're fully prepared for it not to be a quick thing. Yeah, I think everyone understands the expectations over there going into it, and it's really refreshing to walk into a program and know that everyone supports you, and everybody's allows you to do your thing, and there's you don't feel like there's somebody looking over your shoulder all the time, and they're going to give me some leeway to get this thing done. So I'm excited about that, and ready to go.
Have you got your assistant coaches lined up? Any of them going to come with you, or what's the deal on your assistant coaches?
Well, yes, today is kind of a day where I'm going to work on coaches and see who we can get. I have Brett Duvall is coming with me from Mosley, and Colin Hartzog is also coming along with me. His son is actually, he's signing with he's already signed with Florida, so he told me that he is going to be trying to travel and watch him, and there's a high possibility that Cleet's going to be drafted high here in the next month or so, and so he's got a lot of things coming up with his son that he wants to be there for, but he'll be also with us over there. And then I've got several people there's a couple at Bay High already that I'd sure love to get in contact with. I'm going to try to contact those people today, and hopefully we can get our staff pretty much assembled. And this isn't a have to do everything right now kind of thing. It's going to be as we go. I'd love to have a staff in place immediately as soon as we get started, but it just doesn't work that way. So we're going to see how it goes as we move through the summer and get everything in place.
Coach, you mentioned kind of building the staff. I know it's one of those first things you need to do over the summer, and kind of starting ground floor over there. What else do you see kind of in these first 100 days, kind of to use that analogy that happens when people transfer into a new place that you want to try to accomplish here before you get back into school and your rhythms and routines of the summer are over?
Well, like I say, the coaches are a big deal. That's a big thing. Getting everybody on the same page and figuring out what everyone's going to do and with the best way to utilize all of the coaches that we have. The other is just to meet these kids. Get in there and get to know these guys and find out what just where we're at with everything. As far as ability levels and what we can do for improvement plans for each of the kids, and try to just see what we can do for summer baseball, who we have, how many people we're going to have out for a schedule for summer ball. There's a whole lot of things that it's exciting, but there's a lot to do, and we're hopefully scheduling some summer games here real quick coming up soon, and do we have uniforms? I'll tell you another thing. Coach Starr has been fantastic with me taking over here, and he's been a big help already for me. And I actually am planning on meeting up with him somewhere. I don't know where he's at. He may be out on a beach somewhere working. So I don't know where he's at, but I'll be leaning on him to help me out as far. I don't even know uniforms, summer ball, just little things that you need to know. And it's nice to have a former coach that's more than willing to help you out in the transition.
Now, Booster Club, you left one of the biggest and probably the most powerful money-wise and everything-wise at Mosley. Facilities at Mosley are second to none. But with them hiring you with that big name, you would think, Tommy, you tell me if I'm wrong, you would think the old money, they still care about Bay High School, and I'm challenging them right now. There's so many Bay alumni through this county. Now, you got a state championship coach already. He's proven. You know what you got. They should be able to get a raise as much money as he needs to build a championship program over there at Bay High School. Saying that, my question is, after you looked around, do you see things that you guys need now, or is it pretty well set up over there, or are you surprised what you have and what you don't have at Bay High School compared to Mosley?
I tell you what, they have quite a few things over there. They really do. I just had a chance to get in there yesterday. It's the first time I've even really had a chance to get out on the field. And I did take a quick look around at what they have there. And, yeah, there are a few things that I'd like to get that we don't have. Obviously, I think that's anywhere you go.
Yeah.
But they do. They have the basic stuff that you need. And but, yeah, there's no doubt about it. There are some things that, I would like to have over there that have been really instrumental in I think, our progression with the players at Mosley as far as pitching machines and some things like that really have been big helps for us. So there are things we need to get. I need to talk to the Booster Club. That's another thing, another today agenda. I'm going to try to get a hold of the Booster Club president there and get just see where we're at from the Booster Club standpoint, and try to have a meeting with it's really kind of tough right now for me. I've got some previous obligations that I'm heading to the end of this week and next week. I'm kind of busy. Well, when I'm heading to that FACA All-Star game this weekend through Tuesday, and then I'd be back Wednesday, Thursday, and then we start the Top 100 All-Star game here at Gulf Coast, which I'm coaching in that next weekend. So this weekend through next weekend is a little bit tight for me, but there are a few things I really want to try to get done between now and then, and one is meeting the players, and the other is getting the coaching staff together.
Well, during the summer, if you find time, we'd love to have you come in and visit with us and talk about these All-Star games. There's 2 of them you're coaching in. And I'd like to have more opportunity to talk to you about that. We got a break coming up. Coach, thank you so much for coming on. We're so pleased that you're back and staying in Bay County. And if we can help you in any way, just let us know, okay?
Absolutely, guys. Thanks. I appreciate y'all having me on. And it's better at Bay. Thanks, fellas.
All right, buddy. Take care of yourself. All right. Hey, I tell you what, he'll get that thing rolling over there. You know he will. And Jeremy, I do think it's going to take time. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. There's no Bill Allens over there like they used to be. The guys that used to play at Bay, these studs. One's a mayor, one's a big tall guy that just walked in here.
Ghost around there.
Y'all come sit down, Bill Allen. Come sit down, man.
You see what you've done, Harrison.
Okay, sit down.
Baseball time where there's something decent to talk about.
What do you think? Hudson leaving Mosley to go to Bay. That's pretty big. I think it's big news. Big deal.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Still don't understand.
You and everybody else in Bay County.
The things that you hear. Of course, it's Bay County, but it didn't make any sense, and I don't know. If it's a personality conflict or whatever it is. But you look at the guy's record over 6-7 years at most there, his overall record.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Bay, I needed help, and
well, he's only coaching 2 All-Star games this summer, so that tells you how good he is. But you guys, big Bay alumni guys, y'all need to open a checkbook up and help him get what he needs.
Well, I can write him a check. Well, I don't know if it's clear, but I'll write him a check.
Well, hold your thoughts right there. How much time we got? Oh, we got a half second. Hey, Bill Allen, for all your needs, call Bill Allen. He'll take care of everything. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The afternoon underdogs.
Jeremy, what's going on, buddy?
Give my 2 cents about the Jimbo and Nick Saban situation. I went down to College Station. What I'm going to do is I'm going to poison that mascot Rebels food. And he ain't going to die soon, but he's going to die. That's all I got to say about that.
So we got a new Harvey Updike.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Is that the sound of an ooey gooey cheesy crunchy slice of P-I-Z-Z-A? Obviously, but as good as that sounds, we think it can get even better. Oh yeah, that's the sound of a freshly opened fizz-filled Pepsi. The only thing that can take this flavor medley of crunchy dough, mouth-watering cheese, and savory sauce to the next level. How about another bite? Pepsi and pizza sound like a match made in heaven and taste even better. Pizza, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
For love of food, love of country. American Charlie Grill and Tavern is a new all-American eatery at the shops at Edgewater. From the local team that brought you Firefly, On the Fly, and more. Classic dishes that have become staples of our country for over a century. American Charlie Grill and Tavern is open Monday through Saturday at 11 a.m. Daily happy hour from 2 till 6. $2 off all liquor, beer, and wine. Lots of TVs make it a great spot to watch all sports. Hope to see you soon at American Charlie Grill and Tavern.
He doesn't always go the extra mile. But when he does, it's because he missed the exit. It's the Coach James Hale Show. Live and local inside the J. Michaels studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We got Mr. Shields and Mr. Allen in here this morning. What are you guys doing, Bill? Y'all filling in for the man, the myth, the legend?
TV, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. You got that face for TV.
I've always known that. People, we're teaching people how to fish. So, we get in there and just imagine we get in there and BS for 30 minutes. And it's not that hard to do,
Yeah. Did y'all have a good time this morning?
We're experienced at it.
How long is that now? It seemed like I saw one of y'all's truck over there for early this morning.
It's 30 minutes. It's 5:30.
Well, y'all have to do it over and over again because it's hard for y'all to get it right the first time.
We just run through it. No, there are no outtakes.
I've been here 2 hours.
30 minutes is not a lot of time.
Thank goodness.
Hey, listen.
That none of the microphones are on when we're not on the air, especially with certain other people that go over the show with me. Yeah, so
I saw Bill Saturday morning. We went down to downtown Panama City, and the little market they have there, and it was pretty cool. And Bill didn't look too happy. So Donna talking. I said, I thought y'all be out in the water today. I thought you'd be out in the Gulf or something. Donna looked at me, looked at Bill. We were supposed to. Hey, you got to check things out, Bill. You got to be prepared.
The average is about right. Currently, I have 3 boats, and 2 of them are working.
No.
Or at that time. Now, the other one's, the big boat's working now, so,
It wasn't working then, though.
I got past that. Those storms we had, it knocked the power off down at the dock, and so it was dead when we got in it to go. So I was sentenced to. I went with Donna to spend the day working, walking through every single display and booth that was there.
Was you at McKenzie Park or the other one?
We were at McKenzie.
Yeah. You went through a lot of them then.
Oh, buddy.
We were down there Saturday.
We were there.
It's growing. It's a great place.
We were there. We went downtown. It was good. Before you get out here.
Soon to be, baseballs.
Yeah, I want to ask you something before you get out. All right, FSU's going to Auburn. I think they play Friday, tomorrow. UCLA is pretty good.
They're all right.
They're pretty good. Who do you think comes? Does Florida State get it done? Does Auburn get it? Who comes out of there?
All right, if I had to say right now, it'd probably be UCLA. Florida State's not in the top 25. That's kind of a charity 64 pick, I think. But, we were just talking on the way over here, and before I asked Bill, I said, well, who do you think's going to take it this year? And before I could say, don't give me the obvious pick, he said Tennessee. But, which is,
I think he's
pretty, but I'll tell you, I'll say it now. I think Virginia Tech could be the kind of spoiler, that Mississippi was. And they've got a coach over there in his 5th year. So this is his whole team, and he's got a good record, and they had a great record this year. And I think if there's a Cinderella, maybe not Cinderella, there's 4 in the country now, or 3 or 4. They could be very, very tough to beat. They score a lot of runs.
Yeah.
And I think that's Florida State's run production is, it's just not that good. They got a couple of good pitchers, but their run production isn't that good. So, pitching it always wins champion, but you got to score.
Right.
You got to be able to produce runs.
Bill, would you agree with him or no? Get close to that mic.
I think Tennessee probably is going to run away with it, but it's kind of interesting this year because I keep up with girls softball a lot more than I do baseball. In girls softball, you got Oklahoma. There's nobody.
Right.
Should nobody touch
Right.
Oklahoma. Then in baseball, you've got Tennessee, and they've separated themselves from the pack.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting. Can anybody beat Tennessee on the baseball side, and can anybody beat Oklahoma on the other side? Because
You're right.
they have just.
I think Oklahoma only lost 2 games the whole season, didn't
Yeah,
they?
that's right. Texas beat them once, and maybe Arkansas beat them
Yeah,
once, I think.
and they're coming to the mighty SEC, which is going to make softball unbelievable because we got some good teams in the SEC. I told Bill, I saw him Saturday. We went up to Birmingham. He taught me into going. Never been there before, and that was unbelievable. If you love baseball, even if you're an ACC guy, going to that tournament and watching how it's run and just being involved with that, the Tennessee fans, the LSU fans, it's incredible. They have tents outside. Yeah.
Back in 2005, my oldest boy pitched at Alabama, and we went to the tournament there at Hoover. That's a show there, buddy.
Yeah, it was great. We enjoyed it a lot. All right, y'all got to go. You can sit around.
Yeah, no,
all right. Well, thanks for dropping in. Yeah.
It's breakfast time. I'll get up with y'all. Coming next week, we'll talk about what happened over the weekend.
Sounds good, man. What time you come in Monday?
Yeah.
Come in Monday. All right, buddy. Tell your family I said, hey, bye. Tell that one boy of yours I said, hey.
I'll do it.
All right. All right, Jeremy, you had a great story. We're talking about baseball right now. How much time? Oh, we got plenty of time. You went out to the World Series.
Yep.
No tickets. You get a phone call from one of your former bosses.
My former senior
Tell
minister.
us this story.
Well, this was several years ago, but Carl Stegall, who I served as his associate for several years, called me on a
He's
Sunday
out of Montgomery,
afternoon.
Alabama.
Montgomery, Alabama. He loves sports, served at Bonifay United Methodist Church years ago. And he called, he said, "What are you doing tomorrow?" I said, "I don't have anything." He said, "Good, book you a flight to Omaha, and you'll meet me, and we're going to go to the College World Series." So this is not unusual. So I told my wife, I said, "Well, Carl's called and said I need to get a flight." So she's like, "Well, you're gone." So we go. I get out there and I'm like, "You got tickets?" He's like, No, we don't have any tickets." But he's notorious for finding tickets. And so we go to the stadium, and this is TD Ameritrade. It's the year UCLA's playing Mississippi State. And he said, "You go on down on the corner and see if you can get a couple. I'll do the same thing." He called me about 5 minutes later. He said, "I got their tickets." I said, "Okay." And so I go up, and there was this woman who had come up to him, and she asked him, said, "Are you going to the game, or are you going to resell them?" He says, No, we want to go to the game." She said, "Well, you could sit with me." It was the wife of the president of the Omaha Sports Association that was charged with putting on the College World Series, and we were sitting 56 feet from home plate, which puts you closer than the pitcher.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
On ESPN, I mean, my phone blew up the whole night. I mean, people could
this
see
is a
every
national
pitch.
championship game.
Right, game one of the series, and we had passes to their hospitality room because it was named after him and his wife. Went up, all these ADs, all of these coaches from across the country there. It was really just a once-in-a-lifetime type of experience, and we just said, he cleaned up well, and she didn't want to lose her tickets to somebody else, so she just gave them to him. And
gave them away.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Now, this is the new facility,
This was the new one. That's right.
What's that like? Was it unbelievable?
It was very impressive. I mean, it really was.
A lot better than Birmingham, Hoover?
Oh, yeah. This is first class here. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really done well. And that's just a great place. Another venue. You talk about Hoover and the SEC. I mean, the same type feel. You had all of these schools in from across the country, all the tailgating, all the RVs, all that goes with it. And TD Ameritrade, they've had some issues with it. Because Rosenblatt, the ball would fly out of Rosenblatt. But the wind in Omaha, it can get very blustery out there. The wind blows in at TD Ameritrade. See, it was always blowing out. The way the stadium was built, that's why it was a launching pad at Rosenblatt. And they had an issue, in those first couple of years of no home runs in the College World Series because they were being blown back into the park. Yeah, it's changed the College World Series a little bit. You don't get these explosive 11-8, 12-7 ball games anymore. It's much more of a pitcher finesse type of game.
Let me ask you this: when you go out there, they must have plenty of hotels, right?
Omaha's a huge city.
Okay,
Yeah.
big. And the reason I bring it up, and you and I talked about this earlier, LSU's going to Hattiesburg.
Mhm.
Okay, there's a guy. There's a bar not too far from Pete Field in southern Mississippi. You can actually walk to it. And it's not a gorgeous place. It's a nice little bar, a little sports bar there. As soon as the guy found out who was coming to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, when they found it was LSU, he didn't call in. He drove to his business. He got somebody that runs it for him. He drives down there, makes the order himself. The biggest order in the history of that restaurant or sports bar for liquor, beer, you name it, because he knows he has experience with LSU. Mm-hmm. And they know they're going to make an absolutely killing this week in Hattiesburg. Mm-hmm. But here's the problem, and people are upset. They had this youth baseball league going on there. They got travel ball going. Baseball's big in Hattiesburg. So they had all this stuff already planned. So you have people from all over the Southeast coming in there, and they've already got their hotel rooms. So you got all these people coming, especially LSU. You know how LSU travels. It's unbelievable. So they're having a hard time finding hotels. They're going to have to stay in Laurel and outside Hattiesburg to have a place to stay, which is, kind of – looking a little bad on Hattiesburg. But anyway, the city of Hattiesburg is going to make a lot of money this weekend. A lot of money.
Hattiesburg and Statesboro are both qualifying to host regionals. I think it's really good. We talk about the NCAA basketball tournament. Yeah. Well, they're always at neutral sites, and that's why. But to be able to be selected and over the course of these few days have the hype that's going on in Statesboro and Hattiesburg, they'll talk about this for 10 years. LSU coming to town.
You talking about tickets?
Yeah.
You go on these. I go on these websites, Southern Miss stuff, and look at it, and they're like, we're going to be at some game, but we won't be there Saturday. Will not sell to LSU fans. If you're Alabama, if you're a USM alumni, or if you can prove you're a fan of Southern Mississippi, I'll sell them to you. No LSU people bother me.
Notre Dame going to Statesboro. That would never happen.
Yeah.
Notre Dame's not going to go schedule a game at Georgia Southern ever. But now they go and play at the Eagles Field there. So that's the beauty of the sport.
How often does something like that happen?
They'll get a couple of smaller, teams as long as they've got the records. The NCAA is pretty good about, you've got to meet certain expectations.
Do you have to have a certain size of a stadium?
Yeah, you've got to have a facility that can accommodate it. Otherwise, they'll move you somewhere else. I think
Southern Miss is over 6,000.
You also have to put a bid in.
Yeah.
Because in some years schools will get closed out and not get the bid.
All right, how your thoughts right there? We got to talk about some of our great people. We got so many of them. Appreciate it. Hey, Dave, I don't know if you guys tried. We all know Dave owns Firefly. Unbelievable food. Now he's taking it right down the street, and the American Charlie Grill is unbelievable. Happy hour, whatever drink you want, baby. They're just going to give you a discount price. You can get whatever you want. But on Friday, I think you can get it any day, but on Fridays the lunch special was fried catfish. Tommy, I went over there. It was unbelievable. What'd you get? You got a big salad.
I got that super salad.
Yeah, the super
really
salad.
Good.
Yeah, they've got some great food over there. You really love it. It's in Edgewater Shopping Center where Montego Bay used to be. And now you go in there, American flags, the Statue of Liberty. They have really fixed it up. They got some nights they have bands in there on the weekend. It's a great place to go. The food's incredible. Dave might do such a wonderful job. Dave is going nuts right now because they got the Gulf Coast jam, not the jelly, the jam, Tommy. So he's real busy with that. I'm hoping he can call in today or whatever. But anyway, get out to American Charlie. You'll love it. I'm telling you that right now. And now the newest and best Mexican restaurant, El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. Oh, my goodness. Tommy and Louise were down there this past weekend from 4 to 7 for happy hour. Jeremy, I can't tell you what they were doing, but they were having a good time. That Mexican food's good, isn't it?
Yeah. You see how well I was dancing out there?
Well, every Thursday they've got the little Mexican bear.
Went to go see Dr. Mitchell.
Yeah, that's why I'm seeing Dr. Mitchell.
That is true. Hey, on the way, get down there before you go see him. Hey, get your car wash, your truck wash. You look brand new. Blue Sky Express Car Wash on Back Beach Road. I'll be right back. Jeremy Pridgeon, Tommy Santamont. We get back, Tommy. What do you got for us on FSU?
I got a lot of stuff.
All right, we'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Here's Jimmy Butler on taking the three.
Our process was go for the win, which I did.
I thought that he's in transition. Al Horford is backing off of him. Jimmy Butler can blow right by Al Horford. Look, we could be saying something different. If he made that shot, they advanced. I still didn't like the shot.
It's the Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings from 9 till 11, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Thursday morning. I'm forecasting a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm, and the temperature today with partly to mostly sunny skies in the mid to upper 80s, light southwest winds, the water temperature is up to 83 in the Gulf. Showers and thunderstorms are possible tonight, partly to mostly clear, the low 70s. More showers tomorrow. This weather forecast has been brought to you by KHS and Associates, your source for affordable health insurance. For 104.3 and 102.1 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Hear that? That's the plumpest, juiciest hot dogs you've ever seen getting their grill on. But we both know what'll make it sound even better. Oh yeah, it's a Pepsi to go with your hot dog. Because when you're chomping on America's favorite meal, relish, mustard, and onions perfectly blending into a crescendo of flavor, there's only one thing that makes everything about that moment better. A cold, refreshing Pepsi. See what I mean? It's like music to my ears. Hot dogs. Better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show.
I'm not prepared. I really am not prepared at all. I hope you won't judge me on one email I sent 10 years ago.
My apartment smells of rich mahogany.
Live from the J. Michael Studio.
Not after spicy or food
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Hey, our FSU update is brought to you by the one and only Newbies. John and Charlotte, wonderful people, love them to death. I saw John playing racquetball today. He still looks like he could play college football or NFL. He is a stud, man. There's no doubt about that. And Charlotte's a beautiful lady. But, Tommy, I tell you, throughout the years, I shared a post from 6 or 7 years ago, them giving back the community when we used to do it over there. We used to do the show live from their place at times. But they give to the Humane Society. They bought equipment for the fire department. They do great things. And, you know they own all the Newbies. Newbies 2 on the Curve. Is that where you want to go watch all sporting events? It's been remodeled. It's gorgeous in there. And now we all know the mothership is packed out in the summertime. It's crazy. You run into people you went to school with. It's a legendary place. They've got food there now. Go by and tell them Coach sent you. Get any of the Newbies. They do a great job. All right, Tommy, what do you got on FSU?
Well, there's several things going on. Of course, baseball-wise, we got the big regional tournament up in Auburn this week, and FSU tied an NCAA record for the 44th consecutive entrance into the NCAA baseball tournament.
And Bill Allen's still not happy.
And they tied Miami. If they make it next year, then they'll have the record. So I don't know if they'll make it next year.
Miami made it that many times, too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I did not know that.
1970-something, start back in the early years.
Wow.
But, yeah, Miami had great baseball. Wow. But anyway, they've got Auburn, UCLA, Florida State, and Southeast Louisiana State University in Hammond, Louisiana. So FSU is seeded 3, UCLA is 2, so 2 and 3 is playing and 1 and 4 is playing. So Florida State takes on UCLA Friday. UCLA has a 38-22 record, 19-11 in the Pac-12. FSU's 33-23 and 15-15 in the ACC. So FSU has named their starting pitcher. It's going to be Parker Messett, their ace pitcher, one of the 2 ace pitchers. Parker's a strikeout pitcher. He in FSU holds in 9 innings played. FSU is number 1 in the nation with the number of strikeouts in 9 innings. And that's due to Parker Messett and Bryce Hubbard, both of their pitchers. But Parker's had some problems here lately. He is not doing real well. in the last 4 or 5 games he's pitched. So we'll see how that ranks up with UCLA. And you never know about FSU. They could run rule UCLA, or UCLA could run rule them. They're so up and down. Their batting average is horrible. They're not even in the 300 team bat wise. I think they're like 236, something like that. So their batting average, that's been their down. They have their pitching. When you get into the late innings, their pitching has kind of let them down. Of course, the batting is not doing well at all, and it's just they're just up and down. There's that type of team that's going. When they're on, they're on, and when they're on, they can beat anybody. They beat they ran through Miami just recently when they played them, won 2 out of 3, and so you never know about them. So it'll be interesting to see how this develops with UCLA, and then whoever wins that game probably is going to be playing Auburn, because Auburn's got Southeastern Louisiana, which is their record is 30-29. So I don't think they can stand
mid-major, a 4 seed like we would expect here. UCLA having to make the long trip across the country to come play at Auburn, play Florida State, really I think has got a pretty strong uphill climb. Get out here, play in the upper 90, 100-degree heat. That's going to be in Auburn this weekend. So I like FSU's chances in the first one. I really do. I think that they'll be a little more focused, a little more fresh getting going. In this regional format, and I know, getting that winner's bracket,
absolutely,
and then winning in that winner's bracket game puts you on the inside track. You fighting your way out is difficult.
If FSU could beat UCLA, that would be very important for FSU. But they could beat UCLA, and then they could Southeastern could beat Auburn, and then they could play Southeastern and get run through. You never know about them. They're such an up and down. They're hard to figure out. They really are. So we'll see how that works out with them. And the baseball is getting ready to crank up. The NCAA tournament starting Friday, so that's going to be interesting to watch all the teams. And I guess Tennessee is probably the number 1 seed in the whole deal. So we'll see how they are number 1, I think, number 1 seed.
Overall seed. What's
seed.
FSU's regional streak? I
44.
44
straight.
That's unbelievable.
I know.
I mean, that is just an incredible run of consistency over the years.
Mike Martin, he had it going, but that's going to be hard to make it next year because they're losing some players this year. So the talent on this year's team is. You don't like baseball. You never know with the transport portal and all that. You get 2 or 3 good players, and that changes the whole complexion of your team.
And I know FSU's had some really close calls in Omaha. This is not FSU's best team at all. I don't see them making the weekend necessarily.
No.
But 44 straight postseason appearances is
that's pretty.
That's incredible.
Mike Martin, when he was there, he win 50 games a year, at least 30 every year. But this is his son, Mike Martin Jr. is taking over. So,
when we've talked about these regionals, with what's going on in Hattiesburg this weekend, what's going on in Statesboro. I've been to the Tallahassee regional several times over the years, and you get these matchups that you don't get to see a whole lot. Where these schools, come in and get good baseball, and so it'll be a great environment in Auburn on over the weekend, just like it will be at the other 15 settings. So, but I think FSU will travel well. They'll show well. There's a bit of a history with FSU and Auburn. That makes sense. You look at some of the other pairings you get, like Georgia Tech's going to Knoxville. I mean, that's 2 good Power 5, programs playing there. And so the regional format really does kind of mix it up some, where we get this SEC, ACC, or, ACC Big 12, some of these schools we don't see very often. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Mike Martin, I'll tell you a real quick story about Mike Martin Sr. Mike used to coach basketball in Tallahassee, and I can't remember if we were playing, if it was at Godby or Rickers. I can't remember which one he was at, but I was at Choctawhatchee coaching with Benny Gabbard, and we came over to play Mike's team, and it got down to close to the end of the ball game. It was a real battle. I mean, it was close, back and forth, one of our players, one of our real smart players, instead of checking in the game, he just runs right out on the floor. And of course, they technical fouled him, and that was like a couple seconds left in the game. Mike was over there on his knees. Looked like he was praying because he wanted his kid to hit those free throws to win the game, and they did win the game. But I won't ever forget looking over and seeing Mike on his knees on the side. He was very involved in coaching basketball. But Mike he's a great guy, a good Christian coach. It's an outstanding man. Matter of fact, I was over in FSU. It's been a while back, and I went by to see him and remind him of that game. He says, "I don't remember that." I said, "I remember it very well because I was there watching you." But anyway, another thing, FSU got a kind of in basketball. John Butler, their big 7'1" wing player, 7 foot 1 inch wing player. Now, he led the team in 3-point. I think he shot 39% from 3-point range. But he is going to stay in the NBA draft, so he's going to be leaving FSU. And of course, June football wise, June is the camp month for all these big schools. They've got one camp after another. They got a bunch of them. That big mega camp where about probably 3,000 kids will be there. And then they got big man camp, quarterback camp, youth camp. They got all kind of camps coming up. And another thing that FSU in football, Julian Armala is the big 6'5", 300-pound offensive tackle. He's making his way into Tallahassee. He's already signed. So he's coming in Tallahassee, and he was rated by Rivals as the number 7 offensive tackle and the number 66 overall player in the 2022 class. So he's going to be a big plus, and they recruited very well on the offensive line in the 2022 class. So, and Armella sent a message out to all the fans and the coaches at FSU, more like a Tebow type thing, and he said he's going to do his best, and he's there to make the difference in FSU football. So we're going to see how he does. And he didn't enroll early, so he's behind the 8 ball as far as learning all what he has to know playing on the offensive line. As you know, the offensive line is very difficult to play, especially for a freshman when you come into Division I school. So
Tommy, is all of them now on campus? All the signed, not the early enrollees, but the rest of them.
There's
now?
One kid, the Hale kid. He's a wide receiver. He's a big question mark. He's a really good player, but he's not enrolled yet. But I think he's trying to get his academics in line. But he's the only one. Everybody else is ready to go. So
that's what I was worried about. All right, let's talk about. Thank you for the FSU update. Brought to you by Newbies. Again, you want to have a great time. Newbies 2 on the Curve. Watch all these super regional games, baseball games, basketball games, anything you want to do there and have a wonderful time. It's been remodeled. It's beautiful there. And we all know about the mothership, the original Newbies. Everybody will be there all summer long. The best bands in the Southeast every Friday and Saturday night. All right, let's also talk about Dr. Chad Mitchell. I told Tommy, you got an appointment today with him?
1 o'clock.
Do you need me to come in there with you? I'll be at the movie. I can't. I'm taking Laureline late to the movie.
You mean you gonna go to a movie instead of going with me?
No.
What a friend.
I'm texting Louise
What a
back.
friend. What a
I
friend.
was going to go, but when they go, Papa, you got to go. Papa's got to go. You know that. But anyway, hey, Dr. Chad Mitchell, 22 years on Bay County sidelines. And, hey, listen, legends go to him. Tommy Samanic goes to him. Try it. I'm telling you, he's incredible. Bay Point Golf, there's only one place to go to play Bay Point. If you love golf, it's Bay Point. I'm having a hard time. I had to leave. I had a phone call. I'll tell you about it in the break. Also, Rudy's Barbecue on Bat Beach Road. Jeremy, is that not the best barbecue turkey place you've ever been?
Yeah, they do a great job there. I've taken several folks who come into there and they go, where can we get some barbecue? I mean, love our seafood around here, but folks come in other parts of the country, they want to eat good barbecue, and they do a great job at Rudy's.
And that's Ethan Boyd. We'll be right back. 104. When we get back, Jeremy's got the Alabama update. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is your captain speaking. Thank you for flying with ESPN Northwest Florida. Please return to your seats, buckle up, and prepare for launch.
He struck him out! Max Fried leaves the bases loaded.
The defending world champion Atlanta Braves are sponsored by PCB Coins and Cards, Guthrie's Fit Culture, Panama City Toyota, Brock's Pest Control, and ESPN Northwest Florida. And we apologize for any turbulence you've experienced this season with the Atlanta Braves.
Hi, I'm Tracy, your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Shopping for the perfect diamond can be difficult, but that's why I've trained my staff to be helpful and to offer you a stress-free diamond experience. Pick your sparkle and use our easy layaway plan. Every woman deserves an exquisite diamond from your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We don't work on commissions.
We work for smiles and I-dos.
So if you're tired of high-pressure salespeople, stop by and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
Mid-South Lumber has new owners. Stop in and visit Ann and Dave. They're on site every day to make you a priority. They're not the typical big box store, and customer service is their #1 priority. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years. Transform your home with James Hardy Siding. Durability, fire resistant, sustainability. James Hardy Color Plus is virtually maintenance-free and comes with a 30-year warranty. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City.
Get game. WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DM Mariana, Paulette, FC, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, this is Tim.
Do y'all sell bait?
Yes, we seasonally stock live shrimp, live bull minnows, live sand fleas, live fiddler crabs, earthworms, night crawlers, crickets. We also stock frozen shrimp, sand fleas, mullets, squid, pre-rigged ballyhoo, bonita, stingray, cigar minnows, Boston mackerel, Spanish mackerel, and a few other miscellaneous baits. It's worth the drive to buy premium locally sourced bait from Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, located directly off Highway 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach.
Put down your natural light. It's time for the Alabama Update. The Alabama Update, weekday mornings at 8. On the Coach James Hale Show at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Roll Tide Roll. Alabama Crimson Tide update brought to you by Stevenson Air Conditioning. Jason and that crew down there doing an incredible job. I can't say enough good things. They've done ours. I think Chad Mitchell's getting theirs too by Stevenson Air Conditioning. Have any kind of problems, please call them. They'll get out there quickly. And if you don't have a problem right now, if it's been over 6 months and you hadn't had it serviced, call them up. Call Debbie, make an appointment. They'll come out and take care of you. Again, about every 6 months, it lasts longer. It runs better. It saves you money. All right, Jeremy, what do you got for Mighty Chris? You know, Tommy knew the answer. He was just being, I think, ugly towards us when he said, "It's Bama. What region are they in?" I think he
Well,
did.
let's cover Alabama's baseball postseason. All right, that was good.
That was quick.
Yeah, it didn't pan out like we had hoped for. They did make a late surge with a series win over Arkansas and got a couple games in the tournament, but it was all for naught. Ole Miss ended up grabbing kind of the last bid there, going down to the Coral Gables Regional in Miami. It came down to 3 teams, I think, in the SEC: Mississippi, Kentucky, and Alabama, and Ole Miss got the nod.
Let me ask you this: Would you, if they both would have got in? I'm talking about Kentucky and Alabama. I could see that happening, but I think what it was that you got so many. You had 9 other teams.
You had 9 other teams in already.
I think that hurt them.
I do. I think the SEC, with 9, had kind of filled its limit, if you will, to let the automatic qualifiers that have to come in, and then some parity across the conferences. There's a little SEC fatigue nationally, and if you've got 64 teams and 12 of them are from the SEC, already you've got a pretty heavily weighted field, and there's just a lot of good baseball teams out there. I mean, so was Alabama, a good ball team? Yeah. Did they have a lot of close calls? Absolutely. I think 12 one-run losses. That's on them at that point. Get half of those, and we're not even having this conversation. We're talking about them being a 2 seed, heading right on in to the tournament.
I do believe this coming up year, he's going to have to win.
He's got to win.
Yeah, I think the heat's on. And Auburn, again, is on us in baseball and basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how it is in that state.
It is. It's fierce. And Auburn's hosting a regional this weekend. They're playing on Alabama. We're going to talk about what we can talk about, which is football. Because that's what we're looking at now. I mean, softball had an exit, and they didn't make the weekend. Lost out. Stanford came in, won the Tuscaloosa regional. So,
did that surprise you?
It did. This team was not as dominant as last year's team, but I really thought they could get through the weekend and get into the Super Regional, thinking they'd play Tennessee, but Oregon State beat Tennessee,
Right.
and so you had an all Pac-12 Super Regional out there with Oregon State and Stanford, which maybe the Pac-12's got a pretty good year.
And when you were talking about SEC fatigue, I'm sitting here thinking, as you're talking about softball and baseball, what's going to happen when Texas and Oklahoma join the league either next year or 2025, whenever it is?
If you're not an SEC guy, it's going to be nauseating.
Yeah, I mean, softball and baseball,
Mm-hmm.
and not even to mention football and basketball. I mean, it's
Pretty
just
strong.
going to be unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have 12 teams in the SEC playing in postseason in baseball.
You could. Absolutely
Softball,
could.
same thing.
And I think that's what Sankey will have to, remind folks is, 12 out of 6 teams, 3/4 of the league. That's larger than some leagues. They're getting 1-2 teams, but are they deserving? Yeah, looks like it based on the field. So, obviously, the big conversation, if you're an Alabama fan, is what's going on over in Destin with the coaches meeting, and that was the hype heading in with Saban and Fisher getting together. Kiffin has been the one to provide all of us our commentary since the gag order was issued. But Kiffin said, it's a lot more professional in the room than what it might, appear on the television. Said everybody's playing nice and acting cordial, and they are into some of the weightier issues. It was interesting to hear Alabama's proposed change to the intra-conference transfer rule, where right now intra-conference is February 1. And Alabama is offering, let's just go ahead and make that May 1st and make it in line with the NCAA across conference. There's a thinking that that's almost a Trojan horse that Alabama's put out there, where it would give Alabama 3 more months to raid SEC talent. So that nobody was buying. But think about it. If you come through the spring of the year and you see you've got a need at left tackle, well, let's go see what Missouri's got. Let's go see what Kentucky's got. So I don't think that that's going to gain a lot of traction. Harsin was in favor of it. He was positive about it, but I don't know that the intra-conference piece is going to get the same sort of backing that you get across conferences. So that's a little wrinkle to watch and pay attention to when it comes to the transfer portal. Obviously, the schedule format is the next big thing, and we may play with this a little bit in the next hour. But Saban, for as long as I can remember, has been saying 9 games, 9 games, 9 games.
I love what he said.
And in 2020, we got to see the 10-game schedule. We watched the round robin format in the COVID year, but there's a real sense that divisions are going to be eliminated. A couple of questions: are you going to have 1 permanent opponent, or are you going to have 3 permanent opponents? And then will it go from 8 to 9? I know a lot of folks aren't lining up to see Alabama versus Sisters of Mercy and Auburn versus Directional Tech. We get that. But I'm still kind of a fan of the 8 ball games, because on the east side, you've got these rivalry games like Florida State, Clemson, South Carolina, Georgia Tech, that if you push them to a 9-game schedule, now they've got 9 plus the 1. And are they going to go and add a second Power 5 opponent? No.
You're right. Why would South Carolina want to go play Clemson? Florida play Florida State at the end of the year.
And then go pick up Utah or Oregon or somebody like that. No, they're not going to do this. So I think the 3-5 is still the best model personally. Now, I've played with it in different conversations, and the 3 permanent opponents I would pick if this was just about Alabama, it'd be Auburn, Tennessee, and Mississippi State. You can't have Mississippi State 82 miles up the road and not play them every year. Is it pretty much a guaranteed win? It has been over the years for Alabama, but
I would put LSU in there because it's turned into such a big rivalry. But I understand what you're saying. That's the team we've played more than anybody else.
Yeah. And looking at it, I think LSU, they're 3. Obviously, the Florida game is big for LSU, and that's been an old rival, and I would think you'd want to preserve that one. I also had Arkansas because they play for the Golden Boot, and then I had Ole Miss.
Yeah.
You know, there's an old rival there with LSU and Ole Miss, and we may chase that a little bit more.
What do you think about them instead of Florida, Texas A&M? Take Florida out and put Texas A&M in there.
Well, if you go in a 3-5, I had Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas.
Yeah, I get that.
You know, it's kind of the old Southwest Conference being reunited again, and that squeezes LSU out. So I know it's hard, you know, to get down to 3, but in the one that I was playing with, I even had Auburn. I think Auburn fans would like this. I had Alabama, Georgia, and Florida.
I agree, because that's the amen corner. But, good Lord, that's 3 tough ones in a row.
It's 3 tough ones, but Auburn fans that I talk with want the Florida game back.
Yeah, I want it back. I want the Georgia game back when they used to play it, too.
Yeah, like those last 2 there. Yeah. From Destin over there, did you hear about the LSU fans sneaking past security?
$5,000.
And he offered $5,000 to Saban to step down from Alabama. Somehow breached everything and got to Saban and made an offer of $5,000 if he would just quit.
What did he do? How did he act? Did they say?
I didn't get Saban's response to it, but I thought it was pretty creative.
It have to be a lot more money than $5,000.
Yeah, you had your week with LSU fans up in Hoover. I mean, they're a great group of folks.
I love them. I love LSU people. I do. They're crazy.
But I thought that was a great story, and bit of football here. Bryce Young on the top 3 list. That'll be Heisman or bust. Yeah. Will he repeat? What do you think? You think he'll do it?
No.
If his offensive line holds up,
I think the guy at Ohio State's going to win this year, the quarterback from Ohio State.
I think there's almost an unwritten rule in the Heisman that they're not going to let somebody repeat.
When's the last time it's happened? Archie Griffin?
Yeah.
And that was back in the 70s.
Yeah. So I don't see them doing that again. And a little bit of sad news on the Alabama basketball front. Charlie Wilson, manager, 20 years old for the basketball team, died very unexpectedly from a seizure over in his home in Pensacola there.
I saw that. That's terrible, man. 20 years
Coach
old.
Oates and the program extending their sympathies to the young man and his family. That's the second kind of booster that has been a student leader that we've lost way too soon. So prayers for the Wilson family. But the basketball team getting ready to head out over to Europe for their tour, and good things expected on the hardwood as well.
All right, let's talk about some of our great people. We want to thank Stevenson Air Conditioning for the Alabama update. Don't forget about Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Do you want to look better, feel better? Go by and see Jason Kovaleski. Now, Tommy and I have had it. I don't know, Jeremy, you've been there or not, but Paparazzi Gourmet Deli is the best pizza you'll ever have. There's no doubt about that. The deli's incredible, but the bakery, I told Tommy between breaks, I had the Paradise Cake the first time I've had it. Guys, I'm telling you, I used to brag about the Napoleon. The Paradise Cake, just go have that. If you don't want anything else, just go have the dessert there. It's unreal. And it's like a whole, one piece is huge. It is absolutely huge. All right, we'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Here's what's happening.
We are proud to partner with the Panama City Beach Chamber for the 2nd annual Jam on the Coast 5K presented by Visit Panama City Beach. Saturday, June 4th, Frank Brown Park with an epic after party at Texas Roadhouse with free food and beer. And all 5K runners will receive a commemorative shirt and all finishers will receive a medal. For more details and to register, race over to PCB5K.com.
Good Thursday morning. I'm forecasting a slight chance of a shower thunderstorm, and the temperature today with partly to mostly sunny skies in the mid to upper 80s, light southwest winds, the water temperature is up to 83 in the Gulf. Showers and thunderstorms are possible tonight, partly to mostly clear, the low 70s. More showers tomorrow. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. For 104.3 and 102.1 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Sykes Concrete has been in business in this area since 1947, and 3 generations later, they're still going strong. See Sykes Concrete for dirt, sand, rock, and concrete. They can handle any size job from the smallest to the largest. Sykes Concrete pays CDL truck drivers some of the highest wages in Bay County, making $50,000 to $75,000 a year, including holiday and vacation pay, plus health insurance. See Hugh Sykes at Sykes Concrete, 8030 Highway 77 on the right, just north of Southport Elementary School.
I'm Matt Glover with Aero Pest Service, and we are your family-owned and operated pest control company in Bay County since 1977. Now's the time to have us supply our long-lasting custom blend fertilizer that is guaranteed to be the answer your lawn needs in order to stay green and beautiful all summer long. Give us a call today at Aero Pest Service, 850-874-1900. 850-874-1900.
Tiger fans, join us weekday mornings at 8:15. It's the Bay Point Golf Auburn Update on the Coach James Hale Show at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
War Eagle! Hey, Auburn Update is brought to you by Bay Point Golf. We all know it starts tomorrow. Auburn hosting a baseball super region, which is outstanding for their baseball program. I got an opportunity to watch them in person. I'll tell you what, Jeremy. Jamie told me right before he got up and did it. She goes, Dad, watch this guy. He said, I'm telling you, Dad, he's going to hit a home run. This was in the 8th inning. I think it was the bottom of the 8th inning. Their first baseman, I think he's from Birmingham area too. He gets up there and knocks that ball out of the ballpark. We all think Auburn's going to come back and win the game. Everybody's pumped up. It got really loud. And then what happens, the guy gets up from Kentucky. Jeremy, I think the guy hit it 415 feet, whatever. Right, it was like center field. It was unbelievable. So Auburn didn't get it done, but they got an opportunity now to do something, something special. They can win this region and keep on going. That'd be unbelievable. They got a pretty good baseball team. They haven't played as well at the end of the year as they were playing at one time. But I got to give Auburn credit. They have owned us in baseball. They have owned us in basketball. And the only thing we've gotten them in has been in football.
And barely got that this past year.
Yeah, it went into, how many overtime games was it? 3?
Four
overtimes to beat Auburn. So Auburn has nothing to feel bad about. They got a great athletic department. Their athletic director, I personally don't see him coming back. I could be completely wrong on this because really, Jeremy, everything we said, they've been good in all these sports. And if they do get rid of him, the only reason they're getting rid of him is because he didn't do what they wanted, the money people. So if you're betting, what do you think the odds are him being back as AD? 50-50?
Less than that.
That's what I'm thinking too. And we could be completely wrong, but that's just what I think.
But there's a pattern in the program.
Yep.
This is nothing new.
Now this is something Harson's doing is totally different, something new, and I love it. I think it's outstanding. There's one particular writer in the state of Alabama that's been on him since day one, and the only reason he went after him day one because he would not make a comment about the vaccine. This guy wanted to know, is he going to get the shot? Is he going to make the players get the shot and everything else? And he would not even address it, which I loved about the guy because it's nobody's business but his. And the guy came in and said, well, he's one of the most visible guys in the state of Florida, most powerful guys in the state of, Alabama, and on and on. And he didn't fall for it, which I liked. He's his own man. But anyway, he's been after him. We know the boosters have been after him. Well, this is what he did, Tommy. He's a podcast. Did I say it right? Podcast. He's going to start. He's got his own podcast he's going to be doing. The first guest he had on there was a new offensive coordinator. So he talked about it's a great way for us to get our message out there to everybody. Everybody can sign up for it. You can listen to what's going on in Auburn. Now, I'm thinking, does he make money off those? I bet he's probably got set where he's getting some of that money, I imagine.
Sponsors.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So anyway, I think a really great move by him. But, what he wants, too, is the people to see these coaches are just not coaches for Auburn, but they're fathers. They care about their players. They love their family guys. They want them to see the whole person, what he's talking about. And I think it's a great way for him to communicate with the Auburn fans.
Well, it also goes right at the core of what you hear around Auburn, which is the Auburn family.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's trying to broaden that a little bit and paint a picture that maybe has not been fully developed.
Yeah. He said, but here's again, I saw it. He wants them to see what kind of great husbands they are, fathers, leaders, hardworking men that deeply care about the players that play for them and their own families and Auburn and all this kind of stuff. So I think he's on to something. I've never seen this before. Maybe somebody else has done it. I don't know. But this is the first head coach I know in the SEC that's doing it.
Most of the time it's X's and O's. It's a recap of the game. I mean, think of the old coaches shows with Golden Flake and Bear Bryant, but now we're going to shift it more into, kind of the reality model television.
Yeah, they're still going to do those things, but he's adding to it. Now I don't have what day it'll be. I guess you can go anytime you want and pull it up and look at it like you do on Facebook. I imagine.
Yeah,
I don't know much about this stuff. Yeah. But anyway, I thought it was a good idea because some of the fans do like him, and some of the people in Auburn that I know of felt like he was done wrongly, and this could be a good thing for him.
Think about Malzahn. I mean, everybody knew he went to Waffle House. I mean, there was this sort of everyman kind of sense about him. There wasn't this kind of star-studded sense, and maybe
I like
getting
this.
at some of that.
Do you like it? You think it's?
I think it's the way to kind of get acceptance among the folks. And we said when he was hired, that would be one of the challenges coming from Boise State. And, how are you going to fit in the Southern culture, particularly in the state of Alabama, which you and I know well, where most folks expect the governor to drop by your birthday party. I mean, there's this real sense of intimacy and connection, and that you have to bridge that'll overcome maybe a Saturday afternoon that didn't go as well on the field.
And he has been doing that this summer. He's been going to all the different cities and doing different things. And, the car race there, he was there. His wife was there. His son was there. So he's getting out doing the things he needs to do recruiting-wise. I've got a breakdown of the top recruits by two different organizations. I'll get time later in, and I'll go through that. But transfer guys are trying to get in here. But here, let's break it down. This is what has to happen at Auburn. Question marks about Auburn this year. Number one question mark, who's going to be the quarterback? That's the number one thing. Number two, I think Bigsby staying healthy. The running back could be maybe the best running back in the country. He's got to stay healthy to have any kind of chance. And who's going to be the big-time receivers, big play receivers? We don't know that right now. How deep is the defensive line? We know it's not very deep. We know that the first team guys are really outstanding football players, but there again, they got to stay healthy. Inside linebackers, I want to know about Papo. He was a 5-star stud, played early. He's been hurt a lot. So can he stay healthy? So there's a lot of question mark what's going to happen to Auburn. Defensive backs, where they've usually been really strong, are they going to struggle? And when I say they're going to struggle, well, that goes back to the defensive line, because if you can't put pressure on a quarterback and the quarterback has all day to throw the football, I don't care how good you are in the back end, you're going to give up big plays. So it all fits in together. But they have lost some guys. They're a little bit thinner in the secondary than I thought. So we'll see. And then the big question, how successful is Harsin going to be? And all those things we talked about beforehand has got to be addressed before he can be successful. What do you think going in? The schedule is the toughest in the nation. Penn State, week 3, CBS game of the week, 2:30 kickoff. Every year we think Auburn is going to be down and out. When Gus was there, it's when they turn it around. And this year it looks like it's going to be the same. It's like it's gloom and doom. But I'll go back and you look at recruiting over the last 5 years. They've always been in the top 10 or at least the top 20. And you went and see when Clemson won those national championship, you go back and look at their years, they didn't have those great recruiting classes either. So it's not like Auburn doesn't have talent on that roster. The offensive line, how well they play, the development of the quarterback, how that works out. But what do you think?
The offseason was rough. And, while there's been years we've talked about Auburn being, down and out, and then they show up, I don't know that they had an off season like this one, and that to me is concerning. He got bruised and battered in this. Not to say they couldn't pull it out. I don't see them getting the win against Penn State. Penn State's very quietly just doing what Penn State does. A lot more chatter about Auburn than there is about anything going on up in Happy Valley. And if they do come into Jordan here and get that W, I think the wheels kind of come off because the SEC West is a gauntlet, and there's some tough games ahead of them. And you drop that big non-conference game, you've got to regroup, and I just don't know if the chemistry's quite there yet.
All right, I want to look at Auburn. If they go to what you're talking to 3-5, 3-6, whatever, and I'm with you. I think everybody would love to see them play. The Georgia game's not good. We all know it's going to be Georgia. Georgia, Alabama's on Auburn's schedule, which is the toughest in the country when your two rivals or the two teams just play for the national championship. And they did it earlier. A couple of years back, the two teams played for national championship. So
there's only two other options, and that's the Florida game or the Tennessee game.
Yeah.
And I think the Auburn fans I talk with would rather see the Florida game back than going up to Knoxville.
And we all know Billy Napier is going to get Florida back. I mean, Florida will be back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's 3 tough games. Pat Dye used to call it A-man corner. That's brutal. Tennessee's getting better. Even if they do get Tennessee, that's going to be crazy. So I think all these schools in the SEC, Auburn's probably got the worst schedule. Just because simply they got Georgia and Alabama every year as your rival. It'd be something if you got them on your schedule, but when you're at Auburn, you're expected to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be happy with a close game. You got to beat them every once in a while, and it's hard to do that.
You got 2 juggernauts staring at you, and if the Gators become that third one,
golly, man,
you're hoping for.
And then you throw in Texas and Oklahoma
on an occasional basis.
Yeah. And then Texas A&M, LSU, it's crazy. Getting back to that scheduling, I hope they keep it to 8 games.
Well, why would you want to go to 9?
Yeah.
When you throw those
and they mentioned it too, and over in Destin, the word is that the lower tier end want to keep it at 8 for sure, because you got 4 non-conference games. You could schedule 4 wins, what gets them in bowl games, that gets the revenue keep coming in, and also keep their jobs.
Well, it keeps their job, gives you 20 extra days of practice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All of those things that come. When you have to put the gear up at the end of November and everybody else is still getting basically a second spring or fall workout.
And like you said earlier, people go, well, it's just one more game. Yeah, but if you're South Carolina, if you're Florida, and you're Georgia, well, not so much Georgia, but South Carolina and Florida, you got Florida State at the end of the year. And we all know Florida State, sooner or later, is going to be back.
Mm-hmm.
And then and we know how good Clemson is. So that could be 2 losses right there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope they keep 8 games. They need to be careful how they schedule these things out. I still like the divisions, at least until Texas and Oklahoma are both in there. But we'll know here pretty soon what's going to happen.
Yeah, I really hope that it's a 3-5. I think that'll be good for the conference.
We'll get back. We'll talk a little bit about that. 3-5, 1-7. 3-6, whatever. Sounds like a defensive front runner or something like that. All right, start with some of our great people. I tell you what, man, if you've never been there, you got to get there. It's open, the newest restaurant around, American Charlie, Edgewater Shopping Center. Is incredible. Go try the food. Dave might do a great job running it. Dave's got Firefly. We all know it's a legendary place. The food's that good down at American Charlie. Go try it. You'll absolutely love it. Friday, when Tommy and I were there a couple Fridays ago, we had the catfish. Fried catfish is the best I've ever had. Great food, great atmosphere. If you're first responders, you get a discount every time you walk in there. There's another new restaurant also in Panama City Beach, the newest and best Mexican restaurant, El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. Go check it. Happy hour there is 4 to 7 every day. Tonight, I don't know if it's tonight or either next Thursday, they'll have a little Mexican band there. They do a great job. Go try them out. I think you'll love it. Chuck Tucker, South Oak Title and Closing. Nobody does a better job than Chuck. And don't forget about J. Michael's Restaurant, the best seafood, coldest beer. J. Michael's Restaurant on Thomas Drive. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. This is Braves Country.
This one's going supersonic.
The Atlanta Braves kick off a 4-game series at the Colorado Rockies tonight. Coverage today and tomorrow, 6:25 first pitch at 7:40 right here for your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast. It's 102.1 and 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hi folks, this is Tracy with Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Did you know that we have a master jeweler right here in the store? That's right, he has over 30 years experience in the art of repairing jewelry. Most repairs are done within 2 business days, so don't send your jewelry off for 6 weeks. Bring it to us at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We size rings and solder chains. We can reset your diamond into new settings and even custom design. You'll get your jewelry back quickly and looking as good as new. Tracy's Fine Jewelry, Bay County's trusted jeweler for over 45 years.
The brand new Burger King in Wewa Hitchka is looking for managers and team members. You'll get to use your smile and personality and get paid for it. You'll be responsible for getting guests excited about their experience every day at Burger King. You'll get to work in a safe, productive environment that allows employees to thrive and advance with career opportunities. Burger King promotes from within. They offer training and development, flexible schedules, employee meal discounts, and scholarship opportunities. Burger King is an equal opportunity employer. Interested job seekers should text 007-8075 to 31063 to apply. Must be at least 16 years of age.
I used to drive an ambulance as an EMT, and I've always tried to be a safe driver. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. In my car, if I see a truck or bus taking a turn, I know to take my time. When big vehicles turn right, they may swing wide to make the turn. If you try to sneak in, well, it's a lesson you'd rather not learn the hard way. When trucks and buses turn, let's you and I wait. It's our roads, it's our safety.
Broadcasting live from the Redneck Riviera. It's the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michaels studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Tommy, I had something I wanted to go over here with you and see what you thought about. If I can just give me a second to find it. They came up with the best conference's best athletic team, and not football, basketball, but overall best athletic team. It's kind of interesting. I was surprised at some of them. So let's look at this.
This is the overall athletic program.
Jeremy, this is the best athletic department in each conference, okay? And let's see if you guys agree with this. I think we all could probably – I can't agree with this one. ACC was North Carolina. Basketball, you got Mac Brown football. And they looked at academics. They look at all the sports. And we're not just talking about football. So what do you guys think about the ACC picking North Carolina? Academically, it's an unbelievable school. As far as all the sports, though.
Yeah. All those minor sports, all the track and field, swimming, volleyball, soccer, all that.
It's all counted in.
Yeah. FSU's done real well, though, but I don't know.
FSU's got a lot of national championships in a lot of different sports.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they got some, their beach volleyball, the girls, they were runners up this year.
Jeremy, what do you think? Can y'all live with this? Do y'all think it's right?
I question that. When we had that huge scandal at North Carolina with all
grade
the students
changes,
and grade changes, so the academic piece, I mean, great institution. I love the research triangle, but I don't know. I'll pass on that one.
So we'll say there's not a lot of agreement with that one. The Big Ten, Michigan, academics, all sports. Michigan, the baseball team they just won the tournament, Big Ten tournament in baseball. Football just won the Big Ten football.
Always good in basketball.
Basketball's always good.
I probably have to go with that one. I think I can take that one.
I thought it'd be Ohio State, but they went with Michigan. So I don't know. All right, Big 12, Texas. Not Oklahoma, not Baylor, not Oklahoma State, Texas. They must be looking at money.
They got the most money,
But academically, Texas is a really good school, and all their sports programs are all pretty good. Football's been terrible. How's basketball this past year?
Decent.
Baseball's usually really good.
But baseball was number one at one point in the year. I mean, Alabama went out there and got blanked.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think who else we could put in there. I just don't know enough about those schools.
Wouldn't go wrong with Texas. I mean,
yeah,
Oklahoma's right up there.
So the one we really question mark right now, ACC is North Carolina.
I question Carolina sitting in that spot.
All right, Pac-12, Stanford.
Oh, they're cut above.
Academically unbelievable. They were down football. They were down on football, but I guess they're good in everything else.
Yeah.
All right, SEC. You know who they came up with? Arkansas. They're great in track.
Basketball, they're good.
Basketball, they're SEC, Arkansas.
Upper middle tier Arkansas in football.
They're going to be good this year, though. Coming year, they got big expectations for them.
I have to say, I'm kind of surprised Florida didn't end up there, though.
In the past, Florida's been so good. They've won more national championships probably any other school in the SEC. I'm talking about total national championship in all the sports. I thought it'd be Florida.
Yeah, I mean, they're top 5 public university this year. You know, that's a rare feat for the Deep South.
I would say, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say I'd have picked Florida.
The basketball's up and down this year.
Yeah, but in the overall, though, they've always been really – what school in the country has won national championships in the 3 major sports, baseball, basketball, and football? How many can you say have done that?
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning toward the Gators over the Hogs.
Yeah. So the SEC I didn't agree with. Pac-12 I don't really care, but I agree. Big 12, okay. Michigan, we can live with that. So the 2 that we questioned the most was the ACC with North Carolina and SEC with Arkansas. But if you go back and I bet you look at all the minor sports we're not even thinking about, it's probably Arkansas's got a lot. I know track. Aren't the track? That's when they're really
Track's
great.
Track's really good.
Yeah.
Baseball's
Sorry, I thought
program.
that was kind of interesting there.
It is.
All right, let's get back to the scheduling thing that I got you back in here. Let's look at Jeremy's. Let's break it down. Tommy, pull it up. Jeremy, where is it?
All right.
All right, here we go. Let's start with, this is what Jeremy thinks should happen in the SEC. Alabama.
Our commissioner.
All right. You want to read them or you want me to?
You go for it.
All right, he's got Alabama always playing at Auburn, Tennessee, and Mississippi State. Now, are you saying, Jeremy, the other 5,
rotate.
Not another 6, another 5? Oh, Jeremy's picking the 3-5 formula, which I'm okay with that. 3-5. 8 conference games a year. That way it gives us an opportunity to play for the national championship. I agree with that. Okay, now the only thing I would do differently, Tommy, with Alabama, my 3 would be Auburn, Tennessee, and LSU, because I love the LSU-Alabama rivalry. I understand why he's doing it. It makes sense. All right, Auburn. Now, would you change Alabama's at all? Tommy, you okay with that?
I like LSU, but I understand Mississippi State.
Yeah. All right, Auburn. I agree with him at Auburn 100%. I think it's not fair, but I get it. Auburn would be Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. Man.
I wouldn't want to be Auburn.
Good luck with. Well, look at it. Look what he did. Look what he did to Florida Gators. Your 3 permanent games for the Florida Gators: Georgia, Auburn, LSU.
That's okay with Florida though.
Georgia, Auburn, LSU. Wow. Now Georgia's a little bit easier. Well, not a lot easier. Yeah, it is. They got South Carolina, and I agree with that. Florida, Auburn, South Carolina. If I put another one in there, it would have been Tennessee and taking South Carolina out. But I understand where you're coming from. Now, South Carolina, I'd like to have these 3. No, I wouldn't either. 2 of those teams I'd like to have.
Yep.
He's got Kentucky, Vandy, and Georgia. Are you South Carolina's 3 teams? Tennessee. I do kind of agree with this one with Tennessee. Maybe add Georgia and take Kentucky out. I don't know. No, you can't do that. He's right. Tennessee, you got Alabama, Vandy, and Kentucky's your 3 teams. Kentucky, he's got South Carolina, Tennessee, and Vandy. That's one I'd like to have. Arkansas, this is kind of like the old Southwest Conference.
Yeah.
You got Texas A&M, and LSU. That's tough, man.
That's tough.
Golly, that's tough.
About Arkansas being the top athletic department, we're going to take care of that.
you get a little revenge. LSU, Ole Miss, that's definitely one. Ole Miss, Arkansas, Florida. It was me, I would have Alabama in there, but I get that. I got it. I got where you're coming from. Texas, this makes sense. Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Arkansas. Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri, Texas A&M, okay? Texas A&M, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas. Missouri, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Mississippi State. Okay. Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Missouri, Alabama. Vandy, Tennessee, South Carolina, and Kentucky. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, LSU, and Missouri. This is the commissioner of college football, Jeremy Pridgeon. And then now, if we go to 8, you get 4 home conference games, you get 4 in a row. If you go to 9, that could start.
The 5-4.
Yeah, you're gonna have 1 year. You only have 4 conference games at home. The next year you would have 5.
And that's been an issue for Florida and Georgia because they have a neutral site in Jacksonville.
Now, does that go away?
And they're only in Jacksonville under contract for 2 more years. And they hadn't even gotten into that discussion as to what that would mean for the cocktail party with the scheduling format, because you could have 3 conference games in your stadium year if they don't arrange it in such a way where they can offset that for Georgia and Florida.
Wow, that's true.
I ain't see them lose games like that.
Exactly.
I don't.
Well,
like
and
that.
A&M and Arkansas signed a 10-year deal to play every game out in Jerry World, and the Arkansas director, AD, is really pushing that to go on campus, which I can see. I mean, they're playing every year in Dallas, Texas. That's tough. But then you've got Oklahoma, Texas. I mean, that'll now be an SEC game with the Red River rivalry.
That's a great point you made. That's some big games.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the way you can look at it, though, if I'm an athletic director, you look, well, 1 year we'll be on the road. At least we're getting 50% every year instead of 1 year making big money, the next year not making anything.
Yeah. So 3 neutral site games that come into play there that are also a factor in this whole arrangement.
When we get back, we've got 2 recruiting services, and they've got 2 totally different thoughts on who's leading right now in recruiting. It's way early, but let's look at it anyway. When we get back with Tommy and Jeremy, we'll look into that. Let's talk about some of our great people. We got so many sponsors. Appreciate every single one of you. Stevenson Air Conditioning, appreciate them. Buffalo Rock, the great things they do out there. Dr. Chad Mitchell, matter of fact, Tommy's got an appointment today at 1 o'clock. The guy's incredible. Bay Point Golf, appreciate Brian Movey, Bay Point Golf, the Auburn Update. They do it every day. Looking forward to having him here. We had some callers the other day talking about golf. I said, call in Friday when Ryan Movey's here. He is an expert, believe me. Blue Sky Express Car Wash. You want your vehicle to look brand new. Go try it. You'll love it. Don't forget about all great newbies, all 3 great locations. Dr. Ward, 1 in 5 develop skin cancer. If it doesn't look right, feel right, please go see Dr. Ward. Do not put it off. He'll be in here every Wednesday. Looking forward to that. He just, matter of fact, did a great job yesterday. Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Do you want to look better, feel better? Jason Kovaleski. Paparazzi Gourmet Deli, the best pizza you'll get anywhere. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Here's what's happening.
Have you seen our big billboards in Bay County? Well, we have a chance for you to win a supersized prize pack almost as big. With 11 gift cards, you'll be eating, drinking, shopping, and going on adventures all over Bay County for free. Just take a picture of one of our big billboards, post it on Facebook, and tag ESPN Northwest Florida for your chance to win. More details at ESPNPC.com.
Good Thursday morning. I'm forecasting a slight chance of a shower thunderstorm, and the temperature today with partly to mostly sunny skies in the mid to upper 80s, light southwest winds, the water temperature is up to 83 in the Gulf. Showers and thunderstorms are possible tonight, partly to mostly clear, the low 70s. More showers tomorrow. This weather forecast has been brought to you by KHS and Associates, your source for affordable health insurance. For 104.3 and 102.1 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby. The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Is that the sound of an ooey gooey, cheesy, crunchy slice of P-I-Z-Z-A? Obviously. But as good as that sounds, we think it can get even better. Oh yeah, that's the sound of a freshly opened fizz-filled Pepsi. The only thing that can take this flavor medley of crunchy dough, mouth-watering cheese, and savory sauce to the next level. How about another bite? Pepsi and pizza sound like a match made in heaven and taste even better. Pizza, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local from the J. Michaels studio.
Boss, I got good news and bad news. What's the bad news? Your hat's on fire.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Tommy's asking, was Manning's boy going to go to Alabama, Georgia, or Tennessee? I think he's going to take an official visit. He said that it didn't matter that Alabama had that kid from Louisiana commit. Osteen, and he's a great player now, 6'4", 225.
222.
222, big kids, played on state championship teams. I think Alabama's in good shape regardless of what Manning does. All right, let's look at this. This is totally different. We got two rankings here, and honestly, I didn't write the name of one of them. On 3 something, the top 25 recruiting classes of 2023. Let's look at their top 10, and I got another one that's a little bit different. Notre Dame, we have mentioned Notre Dame, Jeremy, if they'd ever open the pocketbooks up, the amount of money they have, they could really do some damage with NIL. Well, guess what? Right now, the number one recruiting class in the country is Notre Dame. Number 2 is another school that I've been telling everybody to watch out for. They have 12 superstars just transferred in. Lincoln Riley is tearing it up out at USC. He will bring them back to being like they used to be. I'm telling you that right now. They're number 2 right now in recruiting. This has nothing to do with transfers. This is at high school recruiting. Number 2 class in the country, and it is still really early. Number 3 is the Alabama Crimson Tide. Number 4, the Georgia Bulldogs. Number 5, the Tennessee Volunteers. Your top 5 teams, 3 from the SEC. And what's surprising to me, 2 of them from the East. Now, number 6, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Number 7, Texas A&M. Number 8, Penn State. Number 9, Texas. Number 10, LSU. So we only have 6 teams from the SEC in the top 10 when you look at Texas being in the SEC. That's pretty impressive with Notre Dame and Southern Cal, if they can keep it. Now, we all know by when everything's said and done, it's going to change quite a bit.
Yeah.
Anything stick out to you, surprise you in that?
There's a regionalization that we've talked about in college football that just jumps off the page here. It's really becoming a sport for the South Central and Southeast United States. And I know there's not a lot of big programs out west. I mean, there's always that disparity there. But you don't have any emerging programs out west. I mean, Boise is your kind of top non-Power 5 program, but nobody else is coming along. The old, USC, UCLA, Oregon. Where's Arizona? Where's Arizona State? Where are the teams that you
Washington,
right, that you would expect to sort of crack this, and they're just not playing in the arms race anymore. They're running a program.
Yeah. We're going to make what we can make. We're not going to put a lot of money into it.
Right.
We don't care.
Yeah.
But I will say this. We used to say Clemson had the easiest path to national championship because Florida State was down and Miami was down. Southern Cal now has set themselves up. They're going to have an easy path every single year to get there. Easier than Ohio State because the Big Ten can play football. SEC can play football. So those two conferences, you come out of there, you're going to be beat up and banged up. Southern Cal's going to be back in, I think, year in, year out.
Year in, year out. It'll turn on the televisions in Los Angeles. And, UCLA and Chip Kelly have got their work cut out for them.
Yeah, it's Southern Cal. they're on the same page. Look out for them being in the playoffs for years to come. Notre Dame, their schedule is pretty easy every year. I think
except USC sitting out there.
Yeah, that's right. So that could be the play-in game
I mean,
for
that's
both
the play-in game every year now.
Yep.
All right, let's go back to this. Number 11 was Clemson. Number 12 was Oregon. 13, Arkansas. This is way early, guys. Texas Tech's 14th. Louisville is 15th. Florida State is 16th. Michigan, 17th. Stanford, 18th. Missouri, 19th. Ole Miss, 20. Northwestern, 21. Michigan State, 22. Baylor, 23. Oklahoma, 24. And North Carolina, 25. Now, you go down, this is a totally different market company. Here's what they have. I didn't write their name down.
Is this to propose what they think's going to happen? Or
No,
is this
it's so far.
Showing how many players already
This
committed?
is what they think so far.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Notre Dame, number 1. Texas Tech, number 2. This is so far now. Penn State, 3rd. Ohio State, 4th. Northwestern, 5th. Arkansas, 6th. Louisville, 7th. Georgia, 8th. Tennessee, 9th. And Southern Cal, 10th. So
Is
it's
that
totally
rivals?
did it. I didn't write it down. I apologize for that. I was in a hurry and didn't do it. So I don't know. I don't know which one to go with. All I know, it's going to be the same old ones up there. Ohio State's going to be near the top. Texas A&M's going to be up there. Alabama's going to be up there. Georgia. Tennessee is starting to write the checks now for the NIL deal, so you could probably see Tennessee staying where they're at. LSU's going to be in the top. Texas is going to be up there. Southern Cal is going to be at the top. And does Notre Dame stay? If they really want to do it, they got the money to do it.
They've got the money to do it. Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's a national brand you're talking about. You got very few national brands. You know, even Alabama, still based in the Southeast, and you get the occasional, but Notre Dame plays in Dublin, Ireland. They play in San Diego. They go on the road because they're everywhere.
And they used to keep all their money, too.
Yep.
They didn't have anybody to split it with.
That's right.
Jim, we don't have much time, but I do want to get back to what Saban said. He's always been for playing non-SEC schools. Then he made the comment, but we got to look at different conferences. If we're sitting here and we lose 2 games, and we got a great football team, not just Alabama, but it could be Texas A&M. Remember the one year Texas A&M won 10 games and didn't get in?
Yep.
So we play in the SEC, and we got an unbelievable schedule, and we lose 2 games. Let's just say it worked out this year, and we're talking about the Florida Gators. We got to play Texas. We got Oklahoma. We got LSU. We got Georgia, and the rest, and Tennessee, and the rest of them. Then we got Florida State at the end of the year, and Florida State's really good this particular year we play them. Well, we lost 1 game by 1 point. We got beat in overtime by a field goal. We've lost 2 games. And we got a team from the Big 12 named Houston, and they're undefeated. And you got Ohio State in the Big 10, and they play a tough schedule. They only lost 1 game. We got Southern Cal out west. They go undefeated. There are only 4 teams that can be selected. SEC champions were undefeated, and let's just say it's Alabama for argument's sake. So here's Florida that's lost 2 games by a total of 4 points against ranked teams, and they play the toughest schedule in the country. What is the committee going to do? I'm telling you what they're going to. I believe all my heart they're not going to put Florida in with Alabama.
No.
It's going to be Southern Cal. It's going to be Houston. It's going to be Ohio State.
We've got a great New Year's Six bowl waiting for you outside the playoff.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, our job as the committee to put the best teams in there. A 2-loss Florida team that played that schedule would beat a Houston, in my opinion. Could play with the Southern Cal, in my opinion. And that's what Saban's trying to bring out, that all conferences are not the same. Are we going to reward an undefeated team from a weaker conference from an SEC team that plays an unbelievable schedule where we've won 16 national championships the last 20 years, whatever it is? And he's got a point. He's right. That's the reason I say don't play non-conference games until you go to 8 or to 12. It was kind of interesting to me. The commissioner of the SEC came out and goes, we would be okay with the 8 best teams. No lock-ins, no conference championship. And I think he's right. I think he's got the power to stand up to them. And if I'm him, I'm going, we're not going to pick the conference champs. We're picking the 8 best teams in college football. Give me your thoughts on what we just talked about.
I could see that. And in that format, let's take last year's. I'd still put Cincinnati in there. I think they're one of the top 8 programs, so that it doesn't exclude the non-power
top 8.
5.
Okay, I'm okay if you said 8. If you said 4, I was going to
No, Cincinnati didn't belong. I mean, as soon as we saw the eye test. But, for the non-power 5, wondering if they're going to get in an 8-team format, you run the table, likely you're one of the top 8, even if you play in one of the non-power 5. So I can live with that. I also think not having the conference locks. What happens when you get one of these years where it becomes Big 12 Survivor, SEC Survivor, and your conference champs got 3 losses? There shouldn't be an automatic lock for somebody that just couldn't, no top team.
Yeah.
But there have been years where a conference
luck up and win a game. Yeah.
Yeah, have won the championship game, and now we're creating that chaos. Or they just
That's
beat
a great point. I'm glad you said that.
Or they just beat each other up during the year. I mean, that happens sometimes where there's parity.
30 seconds. So, Tommy, real quick.
The teams that never lose a game, that's pretty powerful, that committee. I mean, and I don't know what kind of sources they got there they can work with. They have a computer program where they can put Houston and, say, Cincinnati in and see who wins. They probably do. So, anyway.
Thank you, guys. We got you next week. Y'all bet, Tommy, Jeremy, I didn't hear y'all say next week. Yeah, great. I just answered for you.
If I'm not fishing, I'll be here.
Well, you can't hunt anymore. You got to use 22s.
I can still hunt.
All right, hey, after the Underdogs, Dave's got a great show lined up today at 4. Fine Bombs on 6 to 10. We're out 104.3.
I got a powerful BB gun.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd. Marcus Smart scores 20 plus. Boston hasn't lost in the playoffs. That's when they're really